Chris Kyle may be a name you remember. He is the American sniper who wrote a memoir about his time in the military. That memoir was hugely successful, sold about 1 million copies, and then it was turned into a Hollywood film that Clint Eastwood made. And Kyle was murdered 4 years later by a mentally ill veteran who was at a shooting range, at a gun range with Chris Kyle. The book has already been severely criticized for untruths, including this story that Chris Kyle tells where he supposedly punched former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura. Not only was that not true, Jesse Ventura actually sued and won $1.8 million in damages from Chris Kyle, and Kyle's widow, Taya Kyle, was ordered to pay. She is appealing that ruling. But we are now learning, it has now been revealed that his military record more broadly was actually embellished, to put it lightly. There are claims in his book about how he supposedly was awarded 2 silver stars and 5 bronze stars, quote, all for valor. In fact, he earned only about half of the medals he claimed to, as now reported by The Intercept. He also wrote in his book that he had 160 confirmed kills as a sniper. Of course, service members in battle rarely self-report the number of people they've killed. You and I know that, Lewis, from knowing a number of people who have served overseas, and I've never seen I forget about eagerness. I've never even seen willingness to discuss kills that people have been involved in. So we now know that Chris Kyle lied about getting into the fight with Jesse Ventura and punching him. We know that the story he told about sniping American citizens from the top of the Superdome was absolutely false and fraudulent and made up. He told a story about killing 2 guys that carjacked him, which by every reasonable estimate is completely untrue. And we now also know that he has lied about his medal count. You might remember 7,000 people attended his funeral, which was held at Cowboy Stadium near Dallas, Texas. Fellow Navy SEALs who actually went to the funeral and spoke to The Intercept on the condition of anonymity said that they knew that Chris Kyle had embellished his military record. And, you know, we hear, Lewis, about academics sometimes exaggerating their academic credentials or sometimes straight up lying about degrees. This is, according to other members of the military, really a no-no, because a lot of these credentials are associated with great risk to personal injury or actual personal injury. And it is really considered offensive by members of the military in many cases when someone will exaggerate any of what they've done, never mind talking about it in this sort of hyperbolic way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Kyle a little bit. I'll give him an inch here.
Yeah.
In that snipers traditionally, I don't know if they still do. They at least used to have relatively high mortality rates. That being said, I am aware that embellishing your military record is like the ultimate no-no.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And many of the comments I've read from him and the things he said leads me to believe that he was an incredibly racist, maybe homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
And I'm just really not surprised that he lied about so many things.
And to be clear, this is someone in Chris Kyle who was tragically killed. Realistically, he was suffering from PTSD. He left behind a family. This is not about hurting Chris Kyle's family or anything like that. It's about realizing that a story that was untrue was then turned into a propagandistic Hollywood film of epic proportions, which further blew up and influenced others to see it. And it was all based on a lot of untruths and embellishments. And also the film was an absolute disaster. I did actually get around to watching American Sniper, and I found it to be an absolute disaster.
And that had nothing to do with any notions you might have had about it or any biases or feelings about Kyle.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I don't know about that, Dave.
Let's take a break. After the break, we will speak to Seth Shostak about the search for life beyond Earth.
Gamefly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, You can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees, and our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.